All right. So these notes are on adding and subtracting polynomials. So I don't want to spend a lot of time adding and subtracting polynomials because what we're going to do in this class is we're going to multiply them and we're going to have to combine things together anyways. But I want to stress one thing that's very, very important. I'm going to grab my red marker for that. You can only add. You can only. Please write this. This is very important. Combine. What do I mean by combine? Like terms, or combined terms that are. What would I say about that? What does combined terms mean? Yes, Madison? Yes, exactly. So when I say combine, I mean add or subtract, okay? You can only add or subtract terms that are the. How can I emphasize this most? Let me type it in bold red letters. Same, I'm going to yell it. I'm going to put it in different order too. Okay. Let's do this too, just for the sake of this. Okay. Have I made my point? You obviously know that what combining like terms means because you've done it many a time, right? You've combined 2x and 5x, and you know that you can't combine 2x with 3, right? 2x and 3 can't go together. But 2x and 5x can, and 2x and 3x can go together, and you're comfortable with that. Am I right? Yes. Okay. So what I'm saying is that now that we're upping it and we're going to have different like exponents and stuff, we have to know when it's okay to combine terms. So let's just follow this. I'm going to leave this little slogan up here, and let's try an example. So let's say we had 4x squared minus 3 plus 2x to the 5th minus 3x plus 2. Okay? My question to you is, what can be combined here? What can be combined? I see a whole bunch of x's. I see a negative 3. Okay. Kate.
The negative 3 and the 2.
The negative 3 and the 2. Okay, so let's just go over that. These have the same variable, which is no variable, right? And the same exponent, which is no exponent. So that combines to negative 1. What else could we combine here?
All of the x's. No, they don't have the same exponent.
That's right. We cannot combine any of those x's together because they have to have the same exponent. This has an exponent of 2, right? This has an exponent of 5. And this has an exponent of technically 1. None of them can be combined together, so you have to bring them all down. It was kind of a trick question. Sorry about that. So that doesn't work. This doesn't work. And this doesn't work. What I like to do is when I combine these terms, I like to kind of scratch them off because I know they became this term right here. We feeling okay? So let's get into some adding and subtracting, okay? Just double checking. Okay, so example 2. Oops, that's okay. So let's say we had 5x squared minus 2x plus 3. And we wanted to add, I'm going to add it like this kind of type of thing. Is that okay? Like add this whole I'm adding the whole polynomial to it. 4x minus 3 plus 2x to the 3rd. Okay? So now my question is, what gets combined here? Let's just use some colors. Let me talk to you about this one right here, okay? This guy right here, does he have any friends he can be combined with?
No.
No, why? It seems like there's a whole bunch of x's. Why not? Right. This is an exponent of 2. I don't see another exponent of 2. He's not going to be, he's all by himself. He's lonely. Okay? How about this guy? Does he have any friends?
Yeah.
Yes. We can add the 4x to him. So 4x and negative 2x is positive 2x. And I kind of like to do this as I go through. You don't have to. I like it, personally. So that way I know what I got left to do. So now what do I got to do? Well, I got to go to this 3. And I got to say, does he have anybody?
Yeah.
Yes, he does, the negative 3, right? So we're going to add negative 3 to positive 3, and what's going to happen?
0.
Boom, it's gone. So we can just scribble it out and not even write it down. Well, there's only one guy left. Does he have any friends?
Nope.
No, he doesn't.
Why would it be a negative 3 if it's in parentheses and there's the plus sign?
Well, because you're plussing negative 3, you're adding negative 3. So if you're adding negative 3, you know what I mean?
Then what was even the point of putting parentheses?
That's a kind of a more complicated answer because sometimes I'm going to put a minus sign here. So I just want you to be familiar. And also, I don't really know why exactly, but math books all across the world put the parentheses. And I think it's because they're adding polynomials. They want you to add this whole thing to this whole thing, but it didn't need to be there per se. So when you see the parentheses and a plus in between, Savannah, because they're going to put parentheses here and here, and it's a plus, you can literally just drop the parentheses.
Okay.
If it's a minus, not so simple. Okay, so this guy, 2x to the third, goes here. Now the question becomes, what is the name of this? Just a quick recap, because we're kind of talking about that. Is this a, well, I think it's easier to say, is it a monomial, binomial, trinomial, or polynomial, Ryan? Trinomial, that's the second word, so I put that here. Okay, it's like a tricycle. There's 3 things separated by the plus and minus signs. Is it a cubic, linear, constant, quadratic, quintic? Something.
Cubic.
Cubic. So we have a cubic trinomial, and let me tell you why it's cubic. Here's why, because the highest exponent. This is not high enough, this is a 1, it's not high enough. We don't look at these, we just look at the highest one, so that makes it a cubic trinomial. Okay? Let's do one subtraction and then we'll go with it from there, okay? I'm not going to give you an example of every certain kind because I think we have enough time to do some practice today. And I'd like to do it. And I don't want to beat this to a pulp, okay? I just think we got to see a general idea. We got to do a little bit of this section, and then the next section will really bring it all together. Does that make sense? Okay. Last one. Example 3. Okay, so let's say they do this. They go 4x to the second minus 2x to the fourth plus 3. Okay, and then they do minus, and I'm going to make it even more interesting, 2, and then they do like 6x squared plus 10 minus 2x to the third. Okay? What do you think you're going to do? Just, and if you're watching the video at home, I encourage you to pause it and just think about what you would do. Okay? Distributive property, yeah? Does that make sense? So I'm going to use the distributive property here on this. Okay? Now what if there wasn't a 2 here? Well, I could still use the distributive property, just I would have to think of this as a negative 1, right? I'd have to think of this as a negative 1. But our example has a 2, so I'll put that back. But if there was a negative here, I could always imagine there's a negative 1 and distribute a negative, right? Distribute just the negative sign. So I think I had a 2 here, right? So let's just do all those blue ribbons. I call them ribbons. So what do we got? Anyone want to tell us what we got when we distribute? We did a little bit of work with this, right? Go ahead, Ryan.
Negative 12x to the second power.
Good.
Plus negative 20.
Yep.
Minus negative 4x to the third power.
Yep, and if we're minusing a negative, we're really just plussing. We're adding, sorry. I don't like that word plussing, but I use it sometimes because you guys do. So that's what I've got. Now, Savannah, we talked about this. What should I do with these parentheses here? Yeah, they're pretty much useless. They're kind of not needed. So I'm just going to leave this as it is, 4x squared minus 2x to the fourth plus 3. And now I just got to talk about who goes with who, okay? Think of it like there's a school dance. We have to decide who gets to go with who to this school dance, all right? Ryan, who gets to go together?
You subtract negative 12x to the second power from 4x to the second power.
Perfect. So negative 4x squared and, sorry, 4x squared, and negative 12x squared becomes negative 8x squared. This is why we did all that work with integers. And that's done, and I like to go like that so I don't have to deal with it again. I'm going to grab a new color, and I want to know if anybody else gets to go to the dance, or if people going alone. Joe. The 3 and the negative 20. So 3 minus 20 is negative 17. They're going together. Cool. Is anybody else going together? Or we have some solos here?
Solos.
Solos. How many people are going alone? 2 people are going alone. Okay, great. So we've got this guy. He's to the 4th, and this is to the 3rd. So obviously that doesn't work out. So he's going alone to the dance. And then we have this one who's to the 3rd. So he's also going alone to the dance. And now we can scratch them off because we've done it. And this is actually our answer, okay? Now, I'm debating whether we should put it in order, right? I mean, technically, we really should. I mean, technically, we don't have to. But for politeness, we should really put the highest exponent first and the lowest exponent last. Why would that be a good idea? Think about that. Well, what's going to happen? I'm going to put an answer key on the board, right? Yeah? And when I put the answer key on the board, what order is it going to be in?
High to low.
High to low. So just if you could put them in high to low, that would be much appreciated. Minus 2x to the 4th plus 4x to the 3rd minus 8x squared minus 17. And guess what? Now when you do the name, you don't have to really look around. You know exactly where you need to be for that name. So let's look at the name now, okay? I'm going to cover this up. We put them in order high to low. What's the name of this thing? Caden.
Quadratic polynomial.
Okay, you're very close. You're definitely right with the polynomial, and I know exactly why you said quadratic. But it's actually quartic, because quadratic is weird. Quadratic is 2, even though a quad is 4-wheeler. You know what I'm saying? Which is bizarre, so just make a note of that. But this is actually a quartic polynomial, just so we have a name to it. Okay? Are there questions? If you were watching this video at home, would it be clear?
Yeah.
Too fast, too slow, more examples?
It's fine.
Thank you. Okay. If you're watching the video at home, we will see you soon. Signing off. Situation.